Hi everybody, Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping. I needed a swig of water really quick before I started. I am from Midland, Texas, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and this is my full-time job. This is what I do to support my own stamping passion and my need for community and my need for sharing the fun and love of paper crafting with all of you out there. I love what I do, and I just want you to know that. The name Tuttle Up means to gather together and form a community of like-minded people. There's a long story behind that, but my friends, when we wanted to get together for something, they'd say it's time to tuttle up. And there's a funny story behind that, but that's what we're doing here. We're tuttling up, doing some fun crafting together and building a community of people who enjoy paper crafting. So thanks for being here today. When you get here, jump on and let me know you're here. Just say hi to me in the comments, and I will know somebody is watching. Always thumbs up and hearts are always welcome. So thank you for those as well. We have a great online class to go for you this week. We are featuring the Gears and Texture bundle from the mini catalog, and I'm anxious to show you some projects from that. Don't discount this bundle. It is very masculine, but sometimes we need masculine cards, right? Hi, Sonia. Thanks for joining me today. And I love that you always share out my videos, Sonia. That is very much appreciated. Okay, so first of all, just a few business things to take care of, and then we'll tuttle up together and start stamping, okay? So first of all, great join special this month. I would love to have you on my team if you haven't found a team yet. I love my team. They're very fun and encouraging and sweet to each other. They love sharing projects on our Facebook page, our team Facebook page. And this month, Stampin' Up! Is having an awesome special. Our normal starter kit special is $99 for $125 of any products you want. And then they are throwing in this new Stampin' Positioner. They just came out with it. Patented. The only people who've gotten it so far are demonstrators who pre-ordered it last month and people who join a team. It might be offered in the future, but they said way in the future, like 6 to 8 months in the future. So it doesn't do you any harm to join, and there's no blood taken, no lifetime commitment. When you're done, you can be done. Of course, we want you to stay for the long haul and enjoy all the things you can enjoy being part of the Stampin' Up! Community, that discount that you get on every order, all my PDFs for free for my team members, all pre-orders from Stampin' Up! Any sales Stampin' Up! Does, you get an extra 20% off of it. So lots of reasons to join a team, and I hope you'll consider joining mine. The link to join will be in the description after this video is over, okay? Don't forget to use those bonus day coupons that you got last month. The last day to use those are on February the 28th, and then you won't be able to use them anymore. So gather those coupons, look for bonus day coupons in the title, and copy and paste those coupons into your next order, and every coupon gets you $5 off, okay? And last but not least, we have a product of the month going on right now. It is a 12 by 12 paper pack called Painted Illusions. You get 3 sheets of 4 designs. You see 8 designs there because there's a different design on front than there is on the back. And you can get this paper pack for $5 with any $75 purchase. It's an add-on. It's not automatic, and don't forget to do it because they won't add it on later. That would take them way too much time and energy, I think. So, and then we will send you the product of the month PDF tutorial to anybody who purchases and gets this in their cart, okay? All right, so I'm going to move to my hands and I'm going to show you what we're using in today's project. So this week's online class to go is 4 cards. all using some kind of fun technique that you might not have done before. And you can get the kit for free with any $50 order in the Tuttle Up shop that you see right there at the top of the screen, TuttleUpShop.com. You get everything cut and prepped for you for the cards, except for the things that come in the bundle. So the bundle is somewhere here. Here it is. Gears and Textures is what it's called. And at first you might think like me, oh, that's very industrial, masculine, right? But these fun backgrounds can be used on any cards, right? There are some tool type things going on, a chain link. I don't know the name of this, but I've seen it in the hardware stores before, right? So, and then look at these awesome dies that come along with it. I've pre-cut all the dies that we're using today, but awesome dies that can be used. There's a light bulb. I think that's cute. We're going to use that later this week. And just fun textures and techniques. Now, since this bundle does not have a stamp set that goes with it, we are using this Reason to Celebrate stamp set that I believe is also in the mini catalog, but I'll have to take a double look. But look at all these different occasions, celebrations, lucky, St. Patrick's Day, special day, anniversary, graduation, New Year, congratulations, Valentine's Day, Easter, birthday, and then all these little other ones that could be used for all kinds of things, okay? So we are also using the Reason to Celebrate sentiment set, awesome set for our projects this week as well. Next, one more thing I want to point out to you. One of today's cards is using the textured notes dies. And I can't believe I'm saying this because you guys have seen me use these hundreds of times. They are on the last chance list, the next textured note dies. What I love about these dies is that they're all rectangles, but they have these awesome different kinds of frames around them that just make the card stand out so beautifully. And if you haven't gotten your hands on these dies, they're on the last chance list, so you might want to grab them before they're gone. I'm just so sad about it, but I have 2 sets, so I'm set. But if you don't have any, you might want to grab the textured notes dies. The number is 165555. 165555. Oh, hi, Paula. Thanks for joining us. I saw that you grabbed the PDF for the Nature's Walk class. I'm glad you did that because I'm turning it off right after I finish this video today. I forgot to turn it off yesterday. Okay, so here is the first card we're making today. Isn't this fun? And this metallic paper that we're using is called Earthen Elements. It's a copper foil. Isn't it gorgeous? And this is the foil that was actually a part of the Autumn Toile class, Autumn Toile suite that we had in the holiday catalog, but they have kept this copper shade of this metallic paper in stock. Okay, so that is what we're using on our cards today. Okay, with some other things. Okay, so this card, so fun. Congratulations. Great man card. Great. I guess it could be for a woman too. I don't want to be sexist in that. And I can see this being great for a promotion, for a retirement, right? For something big happening in their life. And then on the inside, it has those little elements right there in the corner. Great card. Okay, so this card, we are starting with a thick piece of basic white, and I'm going to fold it in half. I will have a lot more future events to talk to you about tomorrow. I'm waiting to see if Stampin' Up! Has any specials going on. We have a 3 o'clock meeting today, so after that, I will let you know. So thick basic white is what we're using for the card base. I love thick basic white. And then we're going to get started with these outside elements. So the technique we're using today is a little emboss resist is what it's called. We're going to do some blending, some copper embossing powder, and some stamping on top of embossing as well. Okay, so I'm going to grab two things here. I'm grabbing my embossing buddy, and what the embossing buddy does is it takes the static off your paper so that embossing powder doesn't stick in places like I just did, like where you put your finger and things. Okay, it'll keep the embossing powder off that. You have to use a Versamark pad. This is a clear kind of thick ink, and it allows the embossing powder to stick to the paper. So I'm just going to take some of these elements. This is a little crosshatch element. I'm just going to stamp some of these elements around in different places of the card. Okay, I'm going to use this chevron here. Right there in the center. And then let's see. If you hold the card up, you can kind of see where you stamped. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one with the lines, and it's okay if they overlap a little bit. No one who gets this card is going to know the difference, right? Okay, so I'm going to put that one right there, and then I've got some spatters here. Then I'm going to add kind of just around where I want them. Not really paying attention what direction they're going to, because we're going to fill in with other stamps here in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put this away. It's good to hear that it's beautiful in Iowa. It is beautiful here in Midland, Texas too. It is currently 77 degrees. It's going to get up to 80 today. That's crazy. It is weird living in a place that doesn't get cold very often in the winter time, but it sounds like everybody's having nice weather. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going here. I'm gonna add my embossing powder to the top of the card here and sprinkle this on. I have a little here, it's okay, we're gonna make it work. I have a little spoon in most of my embossing powders. I don't know why I don't have one in this one. Here we go. Okay, so it feels very random and weird. I can even add, I feel like I want to add a couple of more spatters on the background here. So I might add another one right there. And I might take this crosshatch here and add another one down here. Just kind of fill in some of those spots. Okay, so let me pull this up again. I spilled some of that powder, but we're going to get it all on here. All right, that looks good to me. I'm going to put this up, and I'm going to grab my heat gun, and I am going to emboss these elements. Sometimes I just like to flick my paper a little bit and get any excess. And keep in mind, it's supposed to look very rustic, right? So that's the look we're going for. So what the heat gun does is it changes the powder into a shiny element. So you can almost see the chevron changing there from dull to shiny. And keep going over all of these. I don't use heat embossing near enough. Honestly, I don't feel like it's my strong suit, right? But that just means I need to keep practicing, right? And I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 18 and a half years. I was a stamper before that for a lot of years, and I still am learning and trying to perfect certain things in my stamping genre, maybe. Um, so sometimes it's fun to step out of your control, circle of control, right? And try new things. Okay, so all of those now are heat embossed, I think. I see they're all looking shiny to me. So I can put that down. And let me get rid of all that powder there. Okay, there we go. Now I'm taking my pecan pie ink pad and I'm just going to stamp some of these other elements in the background here, some of them off. So I'm just kind of filling in some white spaces. Let me try to fix this one here. This is one of those don't do this at home kind of things, but I didn't get the bottom half, and it's probably not even going to matter all that much. You know what? I'm just going to leave it. You're not going to be able to see it anyway. Okay, so here we go. Then I'm taking these small, like, screws and rivets and just filling in certain places on the background here. You don't know what's going to show through, really. And then I have this plus sign here that I'm going to put, yep, there we go, boop, boop, boop. Okay, there we go. That is going to be our background of our card. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a blending brush and that pecan pie ink, and I'm just going to come in and go around the edges of this card and just kind of make it look antique-y, rustic. That's the look we're going for, right? And the fun thing is that embossed areas will not hold on to the ink. So I don't know why I keep catching these edges like that. Okay, so here we go. Right like that. Awesome. And then I can grab a Kleenex and kind of wipe over all those embossed areas and kind of shade it around a little bit like that. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. Isn't that a neat background? Okay, so now we're going to take a piece of pecan pie. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4. This piece is 3 3/4 by 5 of the basic beige, okay? I'm going to adhere these two together, so let me grab my seal here. Okay. And this is going to go right on top of this pecan pie. And then this pecan pie is going to go right on top of my basic white here. Okay. Right like that. Okay. Now, I have a whole bunch of these gears that I have die cut out. I have 2 that look like this. I have 1 big gear. I have a couple of small little ones here, like this. And they're all cut out of that copper paper. And then I have two of these circles right here. Okay, so I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to glue some of them on flat, and then I'm going to pop some of them up. So these two concentric circles here, that's my geometry teacher coming out in me, are going to go flat. One of them is going to go flat right down here, okay? And then one of them is going to go flat a little bit higher up here on the left side. This was kind of fun to play with, kind of mess around with where you wanted them. I would say don't overthink it too much because that will make you crazy. These littler inner side ones are going to go inside these circles here. There we go. That, and then these are all going to get popped up. So these little ones, all I need is a dimensional right in the center here. This one's going to go off on this side right here. This one is going to go off on overlapping this circle over here, and you can honestly put them wherever you want, right? There's no magic sauce to this. I do try to get them a little bit balanced on each side, but other than that, there's really no rhyme or reason to how I adhere these gears to the front of the card. Now I'm using my little side edges here for the outside of this big gear here, so I could fit it in this little spot right here, these little outside rims. There we go. Make sure I can't see any of them on the front side, and I can't. So I had a fun morning. The grandkids had the day off of school. I think everybody's off today. Are you guys out there off of work or school today for President's Day? If you're watching me from Canada like Sonia, we have President's Day today, so it's a national holiday. There we go. Okay, so there are the gears attached to the front of the card. Now I have a strip of basic beige. It is 5/8 of an inch by about 4, but I'm going to cut it down. And I'm going to grab the word congratulations from that Reason to Celebrate stamp set. And I'm going to stamp it on this strip of paper here. How do you guys feel about this so far? Are you liking it? You know, I really, it spoke to me when I started playing with it. It's kind of a fun set to play with. Okay, so congratulations. I'm going to do it a little more to the straight side on the left than on the right, because on this side, I am going to cut it off and then banner cut this in. So to banner cut, you just go up the center a little bit and then come in from the side corners to the top of that center cut, and you've got your banner. Okay, now this is going to get popped up right here, but before I pop it up, I've got some linen thread that I'm going to loop behind it to give it just a little bit of a rope feel to it. So here I go. Just gonna wrap it around my fingers just a few times, very loosely. And on the back of this, I'm gonna kind of do a faux bow, but then I'm going to end up kind of spreading those loops out a little bit. Okay, I want it like that. And I'm going to use some tearing tape here to hold that in place. Get some things out of my way here. Called tearing tape because you can tear it. It was one of my customers said, "Why do they call it tearing tape?" And I said, "Because we tear it." She goes, "Oh, I always cut it." So you don't have to cut it, you can just tear it. So we're going to pull these loops, kind of make them look messy, not so girly bowy, right? And then I'm going to take some of my dimensionals here. Let me cut just a little bit off of that one. There we go. And adhere it to the front of the card here. I'm going to put this black away because I don't think I need that anymore. All right, so this is going to go right over here on this edge, and I'm going to put the straight edge even with the basic beige left edge here at the bottom. So, it keeps wanting to curl up. I'm going to have it go this other way. There we go. So it's going to go right across this bottom edge, right like that. Cool, huh? All right. Maybe turn it so it's not so far off the edge of the card. There we go. And then today we're using these brass pentagons, not hexagons, 5-sided gems, brass gems, and faux brass pentagons are what these are called. Okay, so I'm just going to scatter some of these around my card wherever I want. I'm going to use 5, I think. 3. How about right in there? 4. And then let's do one more small one here. 5, maybe right up there. Okay, so there is the outside of the card. Fun, huh? Okay, and then on the inside, we've got another piece of basic beige, the same size, 3 3/4 by 5, and then a pecan pie that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take just the right corner of this basic beige piece and brush on some pecan pie ink just to give it a little bit more of that texture in that corner. Here we go. I feel like I need just a little bit more here. All right, and then I'm just going to take this straight there we go, and I'm going to take the chevron like that, and that is all we're going to put on the inside. You're going to have room to write a message, whatever you want, on the inside of the card. I wonder if the stamp set has a "You Did It" in it. Congratulations. Let's see, is there a "You Did It"? There isn't, so we'll just keep it like that. You can write "You Did It," right? It's only a few letters there that you can write inside that card. Okay, and then, oh my gosh, you guys, look what I did. It's bound to happen. I'm going to pull this off and grab another piece of basic white. I put it on my card upside down. Don't do this at home. Okay, I'm going to pull it off. Luckily, it's not too glued on. And I'm going to grab another piece of basic white here Why do I, hi Mary, you just saw me put the front of the card on upside down there. Okay, so let's try this again. Make sure it's opening the right way. Sheesh. You guys are thinking she is no expert, and you would be right. I make mistakes all the time. I just don't let those mistakes define me, right? There we go, okay? And then this is going to be the inside of the card, and it's going to go right there. There we go. See? 2 seconds, all fixed. So there's card number 1. Tell me what you think about that. I love those brass gears. I think this is a great card for a man or a woman, but especially for men. We're always hurting for cards for men, right? And then this is the inside of the card there. All right, so I was just showing you what not to do when making a card. That's what I was doing there. Teaching by what not to do, right? Okay, so let me put this one up. That is card number 1. Card number 2 is called the Spotlight Technique, and I love this card. I hope you guys love this card as much as I do. This is card number 2. It says another wonderful year, and then the inside says happy birthday. So for my gears, I used pecan pie and some of those brass elements, so it kind of gives like a matte with a shiny look there. And then this center panel is actually die cut out and popped up using those textured note dies, okay? So let's put this together. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for being here. So I already pulled out the textured note die I'm going to use. It is the, let's see, which one is it? Third largest of those textured. And I was telling you guys, if you're just coming on, these textured note dies are in the last chance list. So if you haven't gotten your hands on them, you need to grab them while you can. Okay, I'm pulling out all my little pieces here too as well. Okay, I have an outside panel. Inside, basic beige. We have a stylish shape circle. We have an outside espresso panel. We have a piece of the Nature Walk Designer Series paper. And let me grab all of my gear elements here. We need that, need that, need that, and I need that one. Okay. So here we go. Let me put all these pieces back. I don't think we need any of those anymore. Okay, so I have a piece of early espresso here that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. Very common A1 card size. It fits into our Stampin' Up! Envelopes, right? There we go. Now I'm going to grab my small blending brush and my early espresso ink pad here, and I'm just brushing on just a little bit of ink around the edges. Okay, again, we're going for that industrial antique look. So we're just brushing on a little bit of ink. This one will look very subtle here at first, okay? Then on this panel, I am going to put my DSP right here on the front. This panel is, what size? 4 by 5 1/4 is the size. And then this is 2 inches by 4 inches. It's going to go across there. And then I'm going to grab a bunch of these elements again from the stamp set. I have some, looks like confetti almost, okay, and then some circles, looks like splats of oil or something like that. And I'm just going to start stamping these elements on the edge of this card right here. Okay, just kind of wherever you want them. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these spatters. Okay, and then I even took some pecan pie and put a couple of pecan pie splatters on the DSP itself. So maybe right there, maybe down here, like that. Okay. I am grabbing that early espresso ink again, and I am adding some blends around the edges again. See how it kind of smokes it out? Gives it kind of a foggy look, which is what we're going for. And remember, when you're blending ink onto a piece of paper, see these blobs here? You always start off because it's going to make a blob like that, and then bring it into the cardstock. Right like that. Okay, while my early espresso ink is out, I'm going to go ahead and take, this is the second largest of the stylish shaped circles, and I'm going to stamp in this Another Wonderful Year while I have my early espresso out here, right inside that circle right there. And then I'm just going to put it aside until I need it, okay? I'm going to grab that textured note die and my, put all these pieces up here, my die cutting machine, and I am going to spotlight the center of this panel right here. So I'm going to add, it's called the spotlighting technique. Sometimes you do it with circles and it looks like a telescope, right? But what this is going to do is that it's going to pop that center panel out. Oop. And it looks like I need to go a little more that way. I'm actually going to grab a piece of tear and tape so that stays where I want it to stay. Oop. And run it through here. Put this back on the ground. Get it out of my way. And there we go. There's the panel. Now, I know I just had here my early espresso paper that I just, oh, here it is right here. Judy, Judy, Judy. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this outside panel, this outside frame, I'm actually going to put on here flat like that. Okay, so I'm going to add seal to the outside edges here and adhere it onto my card base flat. Looks pretty good to me. Let me put a little bit right there. Okay, make sure it's opening the way I want it to. Make sure my words are going the right direction. All right, this is going to go right here on the front of this card, right like that. Then I'm going to take this panel and I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals and just put it right back into the inside of that, okay? But it's going to pop up. So I want dimensionals all the way around the outside edges of this card. Get a really good you could even use the strips that we use when we're doing what do I want to say, shaker cards, the windows on the shaker cards. That would work great for this as well. So I'm using quite a few because I really want these edges to pop, okay? So I'm putting them pretty near one another. I normally would not use this many on a card around the edges, but in this case, I really want this panel to pop off the center, okay? I have actually quite a few men in my life that would love these cards. Okay, now I'm matching up where I stamped the background there. And then this is all gonna pop up right like that. So you can see it has some dimension to it, right? Okay, now it's just a matter of putting on all of our little gears here. So we have a few that we're gonna put on flat. I'm gonna grab this one. It's gonna go up here. I have this piece, so I have some pieces that I cut out of the metallic, right? And then I have some pieces that I just cut out of the pecan pie. And then I have some little pieces that we're going to use on here as well that are cut out of the metallic, okay? All right, so next I have this piece that I cut out of pecan pie, and I'm actually going to put it on the outside of this one. And do you see how it kind of gives you that rusty kind of matte versus metallic look on that? I love that. Okay, so this one is going to have, thank you, Tony. I like it too. Isn't that fun? And I'm sure I've done it sometime in my life before, but not near enough, right? It's a cool technique. Glad you're here, Tony. Thanks for saying hi and popping in. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit for just a second. I have this wheel, this two concentric circles, right? And I'm going to glue it to the edge of this, right, like that. And then I have a little dot that came out of the center of something that I'm going to put right here in the middle of this gear, right there. And don't think that men don't like homemade cards. Every time I made a card for a colleague when I worked in the school, a male colleague, never failed. I would go into their room or their office and they would have it showcased up on their bookshelf or bulletin board. Men love homemade cards. Okay, I'm going to put this piece, it looks like metal grid down there on the bottom, okay? And then I'm going to start popping this up. So this one is going to go right here. And I'm going to use dimensionals for it, just like I did last time. One in the center, and then maybe some little ones around the edge. Just a few. There we go. Lots of dimensionals today, right? There we go. I like when they overlap like that. And then again on this gear, I'm going to put a bigger one in the center. I think that's all I need. And then this one is going to overlap on this side right here. Isn't that cool how the pecan pie kind of makes it look rusty and old? I think it's a fun look. Okay, so let me get these out of the way. And if you just came on, that brass looking is from the Earthen Elements metallic paper. Okay, the Earthen Elements metallic paper. Okay, so, oh, I forgot about my little ones. So these little ones here, these little screws, I'm just going to kind of sprinkle these around here. Maybe one right there. And I actually do have the plus sign that goes on the inside of that to make it look like a screw here. Let me grab my, it's not wanting to pick up for me. Let me grab my take your pick tool here. It's sticking to the inside of the bag. Here we go. So I can just attach this to the inside. You don't have to. You could leave it empty if you wanted to. But since I've got a little blob of glue, I think I decided I just want to, there we go, add that to the inside. And maybe another one right in this corner right here. How about that? There we go. All right, now I have my sentiment that I stamped inside of this, okay? And I'm going to grab that linen thread again. And this time I'm going to tie, I wonder if that's long enough. I bet it is. A faux bow. So I'm just going to loop and then loop again, right like that. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to put it right here on the back. And I'm going to do what I did before. No, I'm not. I'm going to use Seal Plus this time. Right there in the middle. Now I can just add that faux bow right like that to the center, and it's going to hold in place. I might want it to come up a little bit more like this, and this a little down. You got a little wiggle room there. There we go. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And add this right over here to this side over here. Okay, and then again I'm going to grab those pentagons and I'm going to sprinkle some of these on around this card as well. Maybe one up there, maybe one, how about one right there on the sentiment? I like that. And let's do one more. Maybe right in here. Okay, so that's the outside of the card. Pretty cool. Lots of texture. You guys, you should feel this. It's like amazing. And then the inside, we are going to just stamp some of these elements onto the inside of the card here in pecan pie. Some gears, some of the screws and the cross hatches. I almost always stamp the inside of my card, as you guys know who watch me all the time, because I love when you open it up and the inside reflects what's on the outside, right? There we go. And then I'm going to grab that early espresso ink again and brush a little bit on this corner. Over those stamped images. And then I have Happy Birthday from that Reason to Celebrate stamp set. And I'm going to stamp it in early espresso here. Right there. Love that. Love it. Okay, so then this can go to the inside of our card. And our projects for today are complete. So I hope I sparked your interest in this gears and textured bundles. We have 2 more cards coming. I will not be here tomorrow. I will be here Wednesday for the final 2 cards. And can't wait to show you those as well. All right, so if you would like to get a card kit this week using this bundle, you need to place a $50 order in my online store. I give you everything. Hi, Lori. Hi, Patience. Thanks for joining. I just finished my second card. I'm doing 2 today and 2 on Wednesday using the Gears and Textures bundle in the mini catalog. So fun. And then this is that Nature Walk DSP. The metallics is the Earth and Elements metallic paper. And the stamp set with the sentiment is called Reason to Celebrate. So we have 2 more projects coming tomorrow. I hope you guys love these. Give me some thumbs up and hearts if you enjoyed watching these today. And starting today, you can get your kit ordered to get it in the mail, shipped to you this week with any order of $50 or more, right up there in my Tuttle Up shop. And I'm subbing all day tomorrow, but I will be here on Wednesday. Tony, I'm going to say noon. I'm hoping that will work. And if not, I will have it on my Facebook page what the time will be. But it should be around noontime. And thanks for joining me, you guys. I'm so glad you joined me and you've watched. Thumbs up, heart, share me out to your friends. Whatever you can do to help would be just so much appreciated. I'm so humbled that you spend your time with me, and have a beautiful day. God bless, and I'll see you back here on Wednesday. All right? Bye-bye.